Now I'm honestly getting sick of seeing this constant BS rolling out of behavior. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm Flowerdilly, and if you're new here, hi! Welcome! I mostly play horror games, indie games, and sometimes action games depending on the time of the day and the day of the week. Again, another commentary video because one, there's a new update on Dead by Daylight, and for some reason, these are doing better than my gaming videos, which is a little sad, but you could probably prove me wrong by going and watching those. Eh? But I read through the patch notes and I refreshed my YouTube For You page, and of course in true Dead by Daylight fashion, the first thing I see is everything wrong with the update. So I'm going to do a straightforward rant about everything right and wrong with this update, as well as a fundamental problem with this community, because it seems like no one is listening to my points, and it's sort of exhausting, and just generally being a DBD creator, it's kind of ass. I mean, I try and be positive, and it seems like it's not doing much. I mean, I know I'm a small creator, like, very, very small, but my goal here is to make a safe, positive space that makes a difference, whether it's in general for a community while having fun, and even that seems to be a struggle. I mean, as you know, in the patches there are a few good things, like the colour changing with the scratch marks and fixing tenacity, because I almost cried of joy when I saw that. They also actually looked at maps individually, even though they did terrible with the palette density on those still, because they've completely reversed it from what it used to be. But of course, the updates per usual had its bad stuff, like there being more bugs already. Example, Springtrap can instantly recall his axe now for whatever reason, and there are still audio bugs, and they've completely reversed the palette density update and made loops short and boring now. So even killers are complaining about now the long loops with too many palettes are now too short with too little palettes. And this is both survivors and killers complaining. So behavior is really cocked up on that one. They claim they were pushing back updates to this quality of life update, but it feels like a lot of the progress has been met with negative feedback, and now they barely have anything to show for it. Now don't get me wrong, behavior has done their unbalanced mess again and turned in favor of killers over survivors. Now I'm honestly getting sick of seeing this constant BS rolling out of behavior. I mean, it's one set of bugs being fixed, only to have another 100 more that need fixing. And even with that happening, they're more focused on stuff like map lighting, which I know is a hit or miss for some players, and to be honest at this point, with the spaghetti code, they should just start from scratch for this entire game and go from there. I mean, not to mention that the community has never seemed to be happy. Like, I'm serious. Killers and survivors got something out of this, and people can barely take a second to soak in the positives before talking about everything wrong with the update. I mean, not by much, but they need to learn how to balance their shit. And I'm not behavior's biggest fan, believe me, they're a freight train heading to bullshit city, and we as a community can't keep trying to rush shit we've been waiting years for. If you want to actually make this company listen to you, you have to do something drastic like a boycott. Don't play the game. Don't purchase anything. Don't post videos on it. That will actually do something, or at least be a solid attempt. I mean, even if you are going to post a video on it, post something about what needs fixing, what you believe needs sorting, right? Because if we just sit there and complain, and they're still getting more money with these quick, basic, affordable fixes, they're not going to do anything. I mean, I know they're stuck between a rock and a hard place at the moment, especially with all the stuff they've got going on. But, like, the community is not helping. And maybe my For You page sucks. Maybe I've had a few bad games. But ever since this update, it's like players I've been against and co-playing with had just set out to be the biggest rage-baiting dicks on the planet. Why am I getting pallets thrown on me by fellow survivors? Griefed on hook. Yelled at in-game chat because someone called them out for camping. People DCing against killer because a match isn't going their way. Why? Genuinely. Why do you feel the need to make the game so miserable for everyone just because you've had a bad day? If you're so mad about the game, do something about it that actually makes a positive difference. Like, I don't know, turning it off. Because I don't see why other people should have to suffer due to your bad behaviour. And I don't see why behaviour should get more revenue off a game that people basically hate playing at this point. If you don't enjoy it, go do something else. Because, seriously, why do you feel the need to go make fun of the next person in the next game? You're not glued to it. You don't have a gun to your head. You're not being forced to play. I'm being genuinely serious. You're not being forced to play. So why do you feel the need to sit on the game? And I'm not saying this is everyone, okay? And I know my subscribers would not do that, right? But I don't see why you should stay on the game and make everyone else's life hell. At least don't on the game where people can fight back, verbally at least. Because why are we making this everyone's problem? Genuinely, why? I really want to know why. Like, what goes on in the head of a toxic survivor and a toxic killer or a toxic player in general that makes them think, this random person behind the screen that I've never talked to before, I want to make their life miserable. I want to be an ass on purpose. I genuinely want to know why. It needs to be studied because this game is the worst for it. It is. If you want to let your rage out, go play COD. Please, I'm begging you. Go play COD. Because there's you clearly need to get something out. So, you know. Just do it. I mean, if we just keep getting... I mean, honestly, I think overall, I'm just tired of getting update. And all I'm hearing from everyone is complaint. It's always the same shtick. Dead by Daylight isn't getting many views anymore. Probably because no new people want to come in because everybody's so negative and miserable and makes, like, people put off. I mean, let's be honest. Think of it this way. If you're walking into a bar and everybody's yelling hate at each other, you're not going to want to walk into the bar, are you? Especially if they're not serving any drinks. Because Behaviour ain't serving any drinks. They ain't serving any good content at the moment, I can assure you with that one. So why would they want to bother? Why waste the money? Why join a community that is going to make them miserable? And I honestly want to change that. I honestly want to change that. That's the reason I started making videos. I wanted to make a nice community, even if it's the smallest one out there, because I appreciate every single one of you that have joined. I really do. I mean, especially over like a short few months, it feels like I've made so much progress. And I want to be able to share my positivity with more other people. And I mean, me crashing out probably isn't, you know, this is very unscripted. So if you hear me stammering, it's because it's unscripted. I mean, I only wrote like 3 pages of notes down. And even then, I think I've kind of gone off tangent. So sorry. But yeah, this is relatively unscripted with only a few notes. A lot of notes. But the main thing I want to do here is have fun and create a positive space. I don't play Dead by Daylight all the time. I play Resident Evil. I play random indie games that are crazy as hell. I mean, you should totally see some of my older videos. I just really have fun in those. It's just a shame because it's like I would love to do more Dead by Daylight content, but I can't do any more Dead by Daylight content, like my Banned by Daylight series, without hearing constant complaints in the background from a community that doesn't even like itself. I genuinely don't get it. Again, why do you get on the game and then bully someone? That's basically what it is. It's basically bullying and behavior. Why do you enable it? And not even that, sometimes you even encourage it at this point. I mean, you're just sitting there doing nothing. You're the worst for it. Either that, or you make these crap updates, and everybody's miserable again. Like, surely you see the things that people are saying, right? Because if you don't, then you got to start looking at it, because people are upset with the game, and they're taking it on other people, and that's not fair. Anyways, I'm calm now. A girl's got to crash out every now and again to keep clear skin and a healthy mind, so I got my annoyances out from now. If you want to see a video on why Dead by Daylight is in such a rough state, I recommend watching Unladen Crow's video that came out just today on it, because he's a lot more chill about this topic and is not considered a resident crash out like me. I'll put the link to his video down in the description. Thanks for sticking until this long into the video, and I naturally, in true Flowerdilly fashion, need to end this on a positive note. I really do have one thing I loved about the new update, like the ability to check my game statistics. It really brought back some nostalgia seeing Jill as my top survivor, and I gotta give them props for doing something a little bit new with the game that people have been asking for a while. And that is all I have to say. Thank you so much for 75 subscribers. I wasn't expecting to gain 12 new subs overnight, and it made me so happy to see this morning. So, as always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. My next video is going to be part 1 of my tutorial series, which I'll be making to help beginners start the Dead by Daylight journey. I hope to see you there. Have a lovely day. Goodbye!